JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 25th of January 2022. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's morning session, a live session of course. As always guys, we're going to have a quick look at the markets. I mean, what's happening, what are the charts saying to us. So yep, but before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimers. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which is also updated on a daily basis. So check us out here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, jumping into the charts, guys, I have a bunch of instruments that I want to really go through, as we had a fantastically interesting day yesterday. I mean, that was just insanely crazy. If you managed to squeeze something out of it without getting hurt, congratulations, guys. I mean, that was quite an, like I said, that was quite a day. Of course, as always, guys, we need to have our stop losses in place, so that's of course the most important thing here in order not to blow up our accounts. So yeah, looking at this picture here, Nikkei, I mean, you can see that today Nikkei followed suit and followed the trading activity which was seen in the first part of, in the beginning of the US trading session. So we drifted nicely to the downside here, and we managed to end up reaching the lowest point of August. So there we go, we managed to reach my target. Initially yesterday I was talking about maybe this potential idea due to the nice rebound that we had here on Friday. However, what I also said that kind of wait for it. I mean, we need to see maybe a pushback above this hurdle. We didn't really get that, and what I also said that keep your eyes on the European and the US trading sessions. So as you can see here, yep, the index did drift lower and did fall and did reach the lowest point of August. So that's my target is reached here. Now the big question here is what's going to happen further. Now I will I'm not going to remove this arrow yet. I would say that as long as it stays above this area, above this 26,955 territory, then maybe there is a bit of hope for a bit of a corrective move here to the upside. And given that we saw the US indices kind of drifting sharply back to the upside, that of course creates a little bit more, let's say it creates an interesting atmosphere in the market right now, where it seems that anything can happen. Well, at the moment, of course, the main concern is the Fed and its the Fed's interest rate hikes. So that is monitored carefully. So yeah, guys, I mean, for now, yes, we did have a strong decline, but we saw at the same time yesterday, we saw the US indices recovering sharply and ending the session slightly fractionally in the positive territory. However, I'm going to get to that. So that's what I'm saying. So if the positivity kicks in somehow again, then maybe we could see a bit of a retracement here on Nikkei 225 and some other indices as well. So now then, apologies for going silent there. So yeah, like I said, if this ends up dropping below this 26,955 territory, now that's where, yes, further declines are possible. Of course, we already confirmed the forthcoming lower low here on Nikkei by breaking this hurdle, but I will stick to it still. If we see another drop below this, then yes, this could be opening the door towards some lower levels, guys. So for now, keep your eyes on this. Looking at this picture, the next target here could be somewhere around this 26,327 territory. Now, Shanghai Composite, very quickly on this one, boom. Look at this beautiful move. I mean, wow. Strong decline, dropped below this area, and to be honest, this is all kind of confirming the idea that I talked about previously when I said that when we kind of initially dropped below the 200-day EMA, then we recovered, and when we dropped below it again, so they said that this increases the chances for a further move lower, and well, there we go. Today we've recovered somewhat. We tested that 3,519 zone. It acted as a fantastic area of resistance, and there we go. Then we had a explosive move to the downside here. We managed to clear the lowest point of November near the 3,448 zone. So now we're sitting below it, and we've stayed below it. So all this doesn't look very positive, of course. However, due to the steep decline, maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible. So keep that in mind as well. If by any chance it climbs back above this lowest point of November and stays above it, then maybe we could consider a larger correction to the upside here. However, if it continues to trade below this hurdle, below this lowest point of November, then, well, I mean, don't be surprised if we're going to start moving towards the lowest point of August. I'm sorry, not the lowest point, the low of the 20th of August of last year, or the lowest point of July. So again, so far, guys, the bearishness, you can feel that here. Yes, you can feel the bearishness. Of course, whenever we have a strong decline like this, we do have a possibility for maybe a little retracement here, but always be very careful with that when you're going against the trend. First of all, if you do go against the trend, you need to be very careful, and you need to know what you're doing and when you're getting out, because if it might not even retrace a lot. For example, it might just retrace a little bit here and then sell off once again. So you need to be very careful with that, guys, and always have your stop loss in place. Now, of course, I'll get to the VIX quickly. Just a quick mentioning here. I mean, for obvious reasons, we had this massive explosion here, well, boom, we've reached an area somewhere, near the 39 level. So let me just mark this on the chart. So yeah, roughly around there, and then we quickly declined back down. Of course, obvious. Now, looking at this picture, maybe we could see a bit of a push higher, but I'm keeping an eye on this 35 territory, 35.32. If it stays somewhere below this, maybe then we could see that decline. So yeah, at the moment, guys, we could see maybe another push higher here. This retracement, of course, is due to the fact that the indices yesterday retraced nicely to the upside. So yeah, but if the indices today continue to slide, then the US ones, then we could see the VIX kind of pushing back up here. So there is quite interesting. It's a quite interesting indicator, of course, as you know. So let's keep an eye on it. For now, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards the upside here, but I want to see what's going to happen in the area near this 35.32 zone. In the chat room here, Evu, yep, good morning to you too. I can see you there. Good morning to everybody else who's joining in as well. So I hope everybody's having a wonderful start of Tuesday. Now, jumping into DAX very quickly, as well, another beautiful decline, and so yesterday I talked about this maybe being a potential falling channel, and I said that it's gonna be quite interesting for me to see how it behaves near these upside lines here, and well, I can see the behavior here, and everything kind of was broken. So first of all, need to get you know what, let's do a fresh start on this, because let me just remove all the drawings and let me have a look at this from the beginning. So looking at this picture here, some of you are already seeing something that maybe somebody else is not seeing, but maybe you're seeing. So a possible neckline here of a double kind of complex double top pattern. So not saying that this is going to be the case, but for now it sure looks like one. And if we take a look at the cash index, the DAX, then yes, we're seeing a bit of a retracement. So everything's kind of in line. So that's going to be quite interesting to see if this is actually going to end up being exactly that. For now, yep, I'm going to mark this just for our reference. I'm going to kind of keep that idea in my mind, but yeah, I'm gonna stick to for now. I'm gonna stick to some support and resistance levels. Like I said, I'm gonna keep an eye on this area right there. That area is roughly around that psychological 15,000 mark. So I'm not gonna even mention these two levels, but basically around this. I mean, everything's right now here on a little bit approximate. If you're looking for some upside, well, to be honest, unless it climbs back all the way back above this 208 EMA, I'm gonna remain bearish. If it does climb above it, yes, we could consider a bit of an up move here, or maybe a larger correction. I do understand we could be missing out on a bit of territory here, but to be honest, looking at this picture, yeah, it's not really looking very, very positive. Now, even if it climbs back above the 200-day EMA, the one thing for sure to keep in mind, of course, is the this downside line, which well, could provide some resistance for a while. So keep that in mind, keep that on your charts as well, and let's see how all this is going to play out. For now, basically, long story short, if we're looking for some more downside, then we need to see a break of this neckline. If we're looking for some upside, I will wait for a pushback above the 200-day EMA. So that's roughly somewhere around that 15,385 zone at the moment. I do understand that, like I said, we could be missing out on a bit of territory, but I will probably, this is where I will say one thing, that I'll leave it up to you here, because for me this territory is not very comfortable. Yes, we could see a retracement here, but how far, how much? You can apply Fibonacci's for yourselves, guys. I mean, that that might help a little bit here. So for example, if you take it from this peak and take it all the way here down, then maybe, yes, we could see a bit of a retracement here, 23.6%. However, if you want, you can, on the bigger picture a little bit here, so maybe this area here, the 23.6 could play out somewhere near the 15,270 zone, and then, yeah, we will just take it from there. You can see that some of the levels here kind of match nicely the lows, for example the 38.2, but yeah, like I said, we'll get to that point if we do see that push back above to the upside. For now, yes, we're seeing a slight little corrective move higher. We're currently trading at around 15,140, so yeah, let's keep an eye on it. So we're somewhere around here basically for now. Can we go maybe for a bit of a corrective move? Well, like I said, be very careful with that. Now, Dow Jones Industrial Average, guys. I'll try to fly through these very quickly because I want to jump into other instruments as well. So just I'll pick up by I'll spend a few minutes here. So I just wanted to show you that previously when I looked at Dow Jones Industrial Average, my target was the lowest point of June here of 2021, and we managed to reach that. So perfect, good move here. Again, also with the upside lines, we can say on one hand, we can say that we've traveled back up here above this upside line taken from the low the 18th of June. So that's in a way could be seen as a positive. That in a way could be seen as a positive sign. Of course, like I said, keep your eyes on the market. Keep your eyes on the today's session. At the moment, the Dow Jones is declining. It's currently sitting at around 34,000 and 50 zone. So we're back below this downside line. So again, a lot of things to consider. Sorry, my voice is going down a little bit here. Excuse me. So if it falls again below the lowest point of December here, near the 34,000 mark, If it drops below that, then I'll continue aiming to the downside. However, if it stays above this hurdle, above this area, maybe there is a chance for a bit of a retracement here, guys. And the similar story as with DAX. Also you could draw a Fibonacci just to see if it works out for you or not. But like, yeah, something like this. However, as you can see, we already did the 23.6% retracement, so yeah, that's a little bit tricky here with the Fibonacci's. However, like I said, this area right here, the 38.2, is around near the 200-day EMA. For me, I need to see that, and again, a push back above the 200-day EMA in order to consider maybe an up move. S&P 500, similar story, but look at this. I mean, these levels here, just working out perfectly. The lowest point of July has been triggered. I talked about this before. Now, my only little issue here is that the S&P is already back above the 200-day EMA. However, the cash index is back below it. So we're seeing a bit of a session here, mixed session, or sorry, not a mixed session, but yesterday we closed back above the 200-day EMA, and now we're seeing on the cash index we're drifting back down. Again, same story. If we climb back above the 200-day EMA, yes, I'll consider a larger correction here to the upside. If we don't, if we stay below it, then, well, the downside scenario could still be possible. NASDAQ 100 very quickly here. Beautiful move. Look at this. It reached my targets here, the 13,843. Reached that level, even dropped a little bit lower here. So yeah, everything's looking quite nice. Here and interesting, and the fact that we managed to recover somewhat here, that creates a bit of a good positive moment here among the bulls. So maybe it's giving a bit of hope, and the fact that it jumped back above the lowest point of October also kind of gives that little reassurance that that maybe we could see that that push back to the upside. For now, like I said, keep your eyes on this and keep your eyes on today's trading. If you're not really comfortable with this right now, just probably don't do anything with it. Just observe it, and once we have maybe a little bit of a more calm market, then yes, then you can take a position. But at the moment, guys, just like if you are entering the market right now, have your stop loss in place. DXY, the dollar index, very quickly on this. So yep, good push higher yesterday, as you can see here. As I talked about this yesterday, I said that we were stuck in a little range. And the prevailing trend before entering that range was to the upside, so there's a good chance, according to all the TA rules, there is a good chance to see this one popping higher. Well, it did eventually. However, this downside line so far is providing resistance. So in order to go for some higher levels, I need to see a break. I need to see a better move above this downside line. Gold push higher. Of course, everything's in line here. I talked about this yesterday. I said that we might be forming a possible bullish flag. In a way, it kind of confirmed that, and let's see if we can push a little bit further north. My only issue here is that the up move was not really a significant one, so it didn't really even overcome the highest point of January. So that's where the cautiousness appears. Maybe we could see a bit of a retracement here. As long as we remain above this upside line, I will continue aiming higher. However, if it suddenly breaks this and we fall below this highlighted territory, which is around that 1830 zone, then I will consider a larger correction to the downside. And of course, keep your eyes on DXY. WTI oil. As I mentioned before, just a quick update here. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I talked about this commodity yesterday in my video, so I'm being a little bit on the neutral side right now and just observing this. However, what I wanted to mention from something that I looked at last week, the weekly chart, and basically what I wanted to show is that we have a nice doji here on the weekly chart. So basically, it's indicating a possible reversal signal. So if that's the case, if it's gonna stick to this, then well, we might see a larger correction here to the downside, guys, especially if it falls back below this downside line, which I've talked about yesterday. So yeah, this is just something for you to consider, because in a way, I'm on the bigger picture. I'm considering maybe this to be a possible range, but let's not rush into anything. Let's see how this is going to play out. XRP USD, so Ripple. So looking at this picture here, you can see that a nice drop yesterday was seen here, but we dropped again below the lowest point of December near the 0.5750 zone, but we quickly climbed back above it. In order to go for lower levels, we need to see a drop again below that lowest point of December in order, like I said, to get a little bit more comfortable with targeting the lowest point of June here of last year, and then we'll take it from there, of course. Jumping into a few pairs very quickly before I run out of time. This unfortunately, I do apologize, this will have to be a little bit rushed. However, we have already picked up on some of these, so not a lot of new things I will say here. Basically, on AUD CAD, I kept on talking about this downside line, which is quite interesting. I mean, we violated it a few times, and today we pushed higher. But as you can see, it's a little bit unknown what to do. On one hand, we have a market which is declining heavily. There's a lot of pessimism in the equity world, so this is what AUD is reacting to. So as a commodity-linked currency. However, on the other hand, another commodity-linked currency, oil, Canadian dollar, which is linked to oil. Here we have another problem because the oil market is, let's say, unclear right now. It is showing some bearishness. So that could mean that AUD CAD, under normal circumstances, could push to the upside here. But the fact that, like I said, the fact that the equity world right now is suffering, that's what's pushing AUD a little bit to the downside. So basically, we have two factors that are pushing both currencies to the downside, and which one will outweigh which? That's going to be quite an interesting situation. But interesting, you know, kind of what's the word for that? It will be quite interesting. There we go. I'll probably shorten my sentence this way. There we go. So basically, in other words, if you're looking for some upside, well, just wait, guys. At least for a push above the high of the January 20th here, near the 0.9072. For the downside, it needs to drop below the 0.8972 level here. Still the same level in order to go for lower levels. AUD NZD, one of my favorite ones. So. Boom, guys, beautiful retracement here. I talked about that, and a beautiful rebound. So my next target is right now the high of the 13th of July of last year, near the 1.0740. I'm gonna aim for that level first, and then I'll take it from there. So for now, everything's looking quite positive. USD CAD, so beautiful rebound here. Of course, DXY helped out this pair to move back to the upside. However, beautiful test of this downside line, and this is what I talked about. So a mission accomplished, I would say. Now another mission starts to see what's going to happen near this downside line. Will this downside line continue providing resistance or not, or will we get this breakout here? This is something how you can maybe look at. If you don't know what to do with oil, maybe you can, if let's say USD CAD makes a first move, then well, maybe then this is where you can how you can apply it to oil as well. So keep that in mind. For now, I'm watching this downside line to see if it holds, and if it drops back below the 1.26 territory, somewhere around here, then I'll consider maybe a move to the downside again. If we doesn't, and if we break this downside line, higher levels could be met. USD JPY, quick update. So we're still below this downside line. However, we are trading near this 113.48 zone right here. So it's getting a nice little hold up. If you're looking for some further declines, as I mentioned before, we need to see a drop below this hurdle, below this area, and then we'll go lower. For now, keeping a close eye on this, and and keeping an eye on the equity world. If it continues to slide, then yen buying will resume. USD CHF, I mean, I'm loving this pair for now because it's doing everything what I want it to do. It continues to hold this area, just confirming that range, and at the same time confirming a descending triangle pattern. So on one hand, we have ourselves on the wider picture, we have ourselves a range. On the other hand, we have a descending triangle, which of course according to all the TA rules, tends to break to the downside. So, however, as always, there's a however, there's a but. We need that confirmation break first below this area, below this this lower side of the range in order to go for lower levels. So until it's trading in here, I'm just observing the price action. GBP USD very quickly. So beautiful, nice drop lower, and this is what I talked about, and basically what I said to you, that if it fails to stay above this downside line, if this downside line does not act as a good support, and instead we start breaking below this, fall below all of the EMAs, then yes, this could open the door towards lower levels, especially also if it drops somewhere below this 1.3491 zone. And well, so far so good. Everything's drifting to the downside, and even if it retraces somewhat a little bit here, I'm still going to keep an eye on this downside line, because if it holds, yes, further declines could be possible. Euro JPY, we're approaching quite an interesting area here. So we're declining, yes, of course, but we're approaching this upside line. Now, this is where my question is, can we hold on to it? If we can, and if we can jump back above the 200-day EMA, I will go for some higher levels again. But if it doesn't, and instead we break this upside line, well, my next target will be the lowest point of December, Euro NZD, very quickly on that one, everything's working out perfectly. So I talked a lot about this pair last week, if you remember, and this week it's doing all the necessary things, all according to the TA rules. So yeah, for now we reached the 1.6914 zone. Now my next target here, to be honest, if it stays above this hurdle, above the highest point, the high of the 29th of September here, then my next target is the highest point of August, near the 1.7163. And finally, Euro USD, still watching that. Look at this. I mean, if GBP USD had a nice drift, nice drift to the downside yesterday, this one's still holding on. This is still teasing in traders. So if you're in this pair, I mean, I can feel your frustration. For now, it's the same game plan here. We need to wait for that confirmation break. For now, I'm just observing this. Yes, yesterday we had a bit of a false breakout here, but that doesn't okay, that just was a tease. A lot of traders probably got taken out here, and now we're watching this again. Like I said, be patient. Even if it drops again, that's still everything's according to normal trading. Let's see how this is going to play out, guys. I'm not really doing anything much here with this one. I'm just observing and keeping an eye on some of the levels. For the downside, I need to see this body of the daily candle staying below this 1.13 zone right here. For the upside, I need to see a push above the 1.1383 zone again, and then yes, I could go for some higher levels. But at the moment, yes, it's kind of closer to this area, so let's be very careful and patient. Okay, guys, I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching, listening. I really appreciate your time, guys. I really do. So if you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, it's my Traders Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.